It's me. Now, Princess Privacy's been at it again, reportedly asking her bodyguards to stop spectators at Wimbledon from taking photos of her as she sat with 12,000 people watching a match broadcast to millions of people. And just to demonstrate her desire to keep a low profile after keeping secret details of Archie's christening and his godparents' names, Meghan is now reportedly in talks to write a monthly column in Vogue. Oh my God, the hypocrisy, the arrogance, the control freakery. Sorry, but Meghan isn't entitled to demand special treatment. And people are fed up of her and Harry with their litany of imaginary grievances, behaving like two of life's victims rather than the luckiest people alive. Fact. As Duchess of Sussex, she can't ever be private. She's not a celebrity, she's a royal, and there are duties and responsibilities that go with that. She and Harry can't snaffle millions from the public purse to refurbish their mansion, then scream, "We're private people," because they're not. They're working royals who entered into a contract with us, and if they don't want to be royals, then vacate the mansion, go live privately, and pay your own bills.
You know, I'm going to be honest, you and I have clashed over this because in the past, I think you said that we should have been there for the christening, we should have known that the godparents, I think you even said we should have been there for the conception. I think
did not say that.
You were pushing it a bit, you were pushing it a bit there. No, but actually now, I have to say I find for you, this is with a couple of caveats. And I'm not trying to, but two of the luckiest people alive, I don't know about Harry because he has a special place in the heart of this nation because we watched him as a lad. And it would have brought a tear to a glass eye to watch him walking behind that gun. So I don't know if he's one of those, but he now finds himself, and I question whether it's Harry, I don't know. I wonder whether it's his wife, because the reality is, and you are right, it would appear, managed to clear people. I counted the picture in the newspaper. I stopped counting at 35 seats that had been vacated around them. The absurdity of someone trying to take... Actually, it was a picture of himself.
Let's look at these pictures.
Have you got that picture?
Yeah,
Sorry, great.
Look at these. OK. This is a guy who was actually stopped from taking photographs, supposedly of Meghan. He was actually taking a selfie. He was pointing at himself and taking a picture of the court in the background. But let's have a look at... There's a security guard telling this guy to stop taking photographs when he wasn't at all. The guy's totally bemused. So
we've moved to this really questionable position that we have paid, I would imagine, for the car to get her and her business to this particular court. We pay quite rightly for her protection officers, and I'm not for over-intrusion. I thought that not knowing the godparents was really weird. I kind of got them with... I don't actually worry that much about the redoing of their home, 2.4 million. But that's a bridge too far.
And you're right about the godparents. You know, we don't know. I couldn't tell you the names of Kate and Will's godparents right now, but they were published and they were forgotten about. But I think what people are angry at now, and you, like me, have sensed quite a big mood change now, that this was a bit snitty of them. It was a bit silly. It left a bad taste, Greg.
Yeah, I suppose I disagree with you, but that's not surprising. I mean, it seems to me that people who are really upset are people who work in the popular press.
No, that's not true.
Who are, I think, tell me these people, you say people are really angry.
OK, the VIPs waiting to get into that thing were angry for a start, with 40 empty seats.
The lady who was told, I think it's Sally Jones, the lady who was told to stop taking pictures, she just quotes a regular member of the party. It's not just, people and I want them to come back. I want Meghan to be loved as much as she was last May, as she will be this year. I really do, but they are on a cusp, really.
Michelle.
See, it's a tough one because I think, were they sitting in the royal box or something at Wimbledon, or were they just
they're in a private VIP area?
Yeah, so I just kind of think, if you're in that public position, it is a very public position, and you take the benefits and the privilege that come with that, I really then don't think that in a public environment where you're being watched by millions of people, I think it's a little bit much to be saying, actually, don't take my picture, step aside, and all the rest of it. So it's just... Do they get some privacy in some aspects of their life? If they're on holiday on a yacht with their children, fine. Yeah,
we're not arguing for that, Michelle.
No, but
they're in public, and they're on the telly.
Yeah, no, and that's what I mean. I agree with you guys.
And you know, Kate went to Wimbledon earlier in the week. She went and sat with the crowds. Kate is actually a member of Wimbledon. She's a patron of the club too, and she just went and sat with the crowds. No fuss, nothing. That's how you do it. You don't do it this way because she's drawing attention to herself too.
The only thing I would say is. I think the kind of pressure that's put on Meghan and Harry is quite unfair, because if you look at...
What pressure?
In terms of how much intrusion we expect from the press. No, let me finish.
Is it not the same with William and Kate?
But William and Kate are going to ascend the throne one day. The positioning of William... To me, Harry and Meghan are almost like what Princess Margaret and Lindley were. And I don't think people were expecting this sort of thing from Princess Margaret when she was the Queen's sister and they were young. So I'm just surprised. I don't know where you're going with this.
Well, June, they live a very private life already. They're not pursued. No one sells stories about them. They have security guards everywhere to keep the punters away from them. And yet they have these grievances
they're
about
turning up
music.
to do their charity jobs.
Harry
is
that's not all
working
they're paid
constantly.
For. They're paid to be a member of the royal... Let me just say this. One very respected columnist this week said the two of them are behaving like they're in a witness protection programme rather than the House of Windsor. And that kind of sums it up for me. They are. They're living a bloom and great life.
But never underestimate how much William and Harry dislike the media.
Yeah. Yes.
Never underestimate it. Because, I mean, you know, when I was chairman of the FA, I obviously worked with William. And William was brilliant with the public, actually. He was really good. I mean, the only time I ever saw him not do anything was when someone asked for his autograph and he said, we can't give autographs. No, but other than that, he didn't mind having
autographs. I didn't know that.
Signatures, none of them are allowed.
He was willing to have his picture taken. All sorts of people.
I have to say to you, Greg, the Duchess wasn't good with two members of the public who were trying to take... That is the... I don't mind. Carol and I we have got broad enough shoulders. You can do what you like. You can pour a tub over my head, and it has happened, and I really don't care. But ordinary people, you're in a public place. These guys have gone to watch Wimbledon. He's trying to take a picture of himself, and he has a Scotland Yard detective telling him to stop. That's not Britain. That's not Britain.
Let's look at...
No, you might be right.
Let's look at Kate Williams.
What?
Well, on that, you might be right.
This is a first. I've got him.
Greg and Carol agreeing. Whoa.
Sort of.
No, I'm agreeing with Nick. I don't agree with Carol.
Let's look at Kate Williams. She's a royal historian, because we need to talk about the christening as well, because I think that upset a lot of people. Let's listen to what Kate Williams has to say.
Harry and Meghan want to keep things secret, and clearly it's because they want this child to be very protected. They chose for the child not to have a royal title. They're clearly very worried that it will grow up in the Royal Goldfish Bowl. But I feel very strongly that it's going to grow up in the Royal Goldfish Bowl, whatever they do. And so sometimes by keeping things secret, it actually makes it of more greater interest. I think lots of people walking down the street couldn't name Prince William's godparents, Princess Charlotte's godparents, but because now arches are going to be secret, people are going to start looking into that.
And that is absolutely the point. And that christening, you know, was a farce on many levels. You know, it was conducted in a building that we pay for. It was conducted by a bishop that we pay. The security was there. We pay for that. We pay for it all. And yet she and him made it into a private affair.
Why do we need to know who the godparents are?
Well, the thing is, because there's no royal precedent for keeping it secret. And what's the big deal anyway?
But
why not?
Why make a big fuss about it?
Because
did
you not listen to what she just said? You keep it a secret, and that's what happens. Interest is spanked.
Can we get a quote from what Harry said about in terms of privacy in 2016? So he said, everyone has a right to their privacy, and a lot of the members of the public get it. But sadly, in some areas, there is the incessant need to find out every little detail about what happens behind the scenes. It is unnecessary. The private life has to be private, and I hope people respect that.
But so don't take the money, June.
Carol, this is why, unfortunately, we have to part company, because while the decisions regarding the christening were perhaps questionable, I do get it, because it is private. If they want to keep it private, I know it's the Archbishop of Canterbury, but the ones where I'm with you is Wimbledon. That's a totally... I don't know why you're... Because you've absolutely slam dunk. You've aced it. It's 6-love regarding Wimbledon, and now you've just given it a tie break.
No, I haven't given it a tie break.
You have,
because
the christening.
You know what? Is it such a big deal to let the public, who you have entered into a contract with, who are paying you to be there,
yes.
But don't
give them a picture, give them a smile, for
we got the
goodness
pictures.
sake.
But don't you think that matters more for William and Kate? Because their children are going to be...
They both
kings
take
and
money.
queens at some point.
You and I were about to win the mixed doubles, and you've just thrown the third set.